The world of knife defense is packed with
the dumbest techniques in all of martial arts. Hey, I'm sure you've seen this video, it's quite entertaining, but could their conclusions be false? Could they have observed these drills under a limited consideration? Here is Jared Wihungi, who is a SWAT operator and for almost 2 decades has traveled the world training the world's elite fighting forces on how to navigate through these very, very dangerous conditions. Take a look.
So this is the drill. We're attacking each other with markers, right? It got out of hand in class. And so we're just basically moving, okay? And I'm dealing with high threats, I'm dealing with low threats, and we're just kind of moving in these directions, right? So, and the question might come up, well, why are we doing this drill? And that's, so one way to articulate it would be, I'm focused on the A and the C. So we're not terminating the drill, we're not getting to the T, but it's an isolation drill. I'm focused on avoiding, right? So how do I avoid an attack? I use my feet and my body. This drill allows me to get, in a very short span of time, a lot of repetition, right? I'm attacking you, you're attacking me. So we're both getting the repetition. It's not just you getting the benefit of the drill, we're mutually benefiting from the drill. You attack me, I attack you, you attack me, I attack you. And in a very short period of time, I'm learning to coordinate my feet, okay? Not just my angling, but I'm programming myself to move to the outside line of his arm. Every repetition, I'm moving to the outside of his arm, okay? So I'm programming my footwork and my positioning, my angling. I'm programming my body angle, but in a way that allows me to use my hands still, right? Because if I angle myself in the wrong way, I might not be able to use my hands. It may get me offline physically, but I might not be able to use my hands to intercept the attack. So I'm doing it in a way that allows me to get into a position where I can not only intercept, but I can use my other hand to start controlling. We start getting to the C, right? So we get into contact and control. I may not be completing that control, but I'm going through the first step of it.
That's all we're training right now, so now I'm going to let him do a repetition. I'm going to release, and I'm going to thrust to him, and he's going to do the same thing. He's going to step outside and control.
And then we adhere to that. In a flow drill, we do the catch and release. So I catch, I release, and I give you a repetition. Boom, you catch, release, and you give me a repetition. Okay. In advanced martial arts variations of these drills, you might be adding counter trapping and these other steps, but this is just coordinating outside line movement, footwork, my hands and feet get coordinated, and just from experience doing these drills with non-martial artists, in literally an hour, guys are tripping over their own feet to begin with, to they're just flowing, they're moving, their hands are moving, their feet are moving, and it's got a very high rate of return on these drills based on the repetition that you're able to gain in a short period of time. Again, now at some point when people have gleaned what you're trying to get from the drill, you got to take it to the next step, right? This is what I call the point of diminishing returns, where now they've got that point, it looks good. Now let's add on to that, keep it evolving, and now so let's integrate now some termination techniques. And that may be something as simple as out of the drill. That may be something as simple as I disengage and I get a weapon out, and now I'm practicing my transition, my takeoff into the drill. It may be something like I'm here and I'm going to control, and now from here I'm looking at a takedown of some kind. So I may be going to avoid an intercept, control. That's the takedown, that we're practicing for this training segment. So you can start using it as a medium and what we call a platform to start training my other options. And all of those T's should be trained, because if you don't train them, then you're less likely to have the wherewithal under the stress of a real situation to actually have one of those options at your disposal, right?
And then drop down and try and control him from there.
So if I just train, all I do is train takedowns, I'm gonna forget, I could have hit him. I could have pulled out my weapon and used it on him, So there's all these things that you should integrate into the drills, into your training, so that they become part of your repertoire, and under stress, and that you're able to realistically utilize them.
Now, I could probably get his hand off the gun without resorting to the knife, but this may be a scenario where
drop the gun. Okay? Drop the gun, right? So that's the A and the C is what we isolate in the first evolutions of a flow drill. And then we can start adding the T back in when we get to the termination principle. Yeah. Thanks.
Have you identified a reliable time frame where that point of diminishing return begins to emerge for people who don't have a lot of training, for example?
Just from teaching this multiple times, I found that in a block of instruction and normally I do this in like an hour block of instruction, I can get people doing what I'm trying to get them to do within an hour. And again, if they get more repetition of it as we start integrating the T, the termination techniques, then they're getting more repetition and getting better and better at it at that same time. But I found that just literally within an hour to a couple of hours, people really get what I'm trying to get them to do out of the drill.
Do you get looks from people like, that's so easy?
Sometimes, yeah.
You know, because it looks really easy.
Yeah. Well, people look at us doing it, people that have done it, and they're like, hey, that looks really easy. But then when they try it, they're like, oh, so which foot goes where? And now my hand can't reach. But then I tell them, that's the idea of the flow of the cyclical nature of the drill is every time you get another repetition, fix what you did wrong the last time. And you've got the opportunity to keep doing constant self-correction in your positioning through a very simple medium. And again, it doesn't take long till people have got their hands and their feet coordinated, their angle, their proximity, their positioning, and they can start moving to further evolutions.
All right, so I hope that made sense for you. I hope you learned something. Keep in mind that these flow drills are not meant to simulate fights. They were never meant to be, although they may have been misrepresented in the past. That's not what they are. They are foundation builders at the very beginning of training that's designed to be scaled across all experience levels for all practitioners and all students to get high repetitions in order to get opportunities for correction. Now from there, you have to move on. You have to reduce predictability. You have to increase energy, intensity, and intent. And you want to take it really as far as you're able to go as far as realism goes. But please keep in mind that you can't do that all the time. You can't do that every day. Even the world's elite don't do that. Governments spend so much time on a pre-deployment special forces soldier that if they were to get injured through hard training during the training phase, well, that would be a huge waste of money. And for you, the civilian, it's really important to understand that it would be such a tragedy for you to be unable to defend yourself in a critical incident because you were injured in training. Now from there, you have to move on. You have to reduce predictability. You have to increase energy, intensity, and intent. And you want to take it really as far as you're able to go as far as realism goes. But please keep in mind that you can't do that all the time. You can't do that every day. Even the world's elite don't do that. Governments spend so much time on a pre-deployment special forces soldier that if they were to get injured through hard training during the training phase, well, that would be a huge waste of money. And for you, the civilian, it's really important to understand that it would be such a tragedy for you to be unable to defend yourself in a critical incident because you were injured in training. So these flow drills, the slow, methodical, crawl, walk, run process makes sense. Do not judge the entirety of training based on the little clip that you see on YouTube, and certainly question everything. Be analytical. Ask so many questions, and that includes me. That includes this whole entire channel. Nothing in this channel is certain. It's meant to incite thinking. It's meant to make you ask questions. And hopefully it's meant to get you off the couch so that you're actually out there on the mats training with these people. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope I've earned your subscription. If not, I'll try my best on the next one. Thank you guys. Peace.
Stand by.